Okay, we're back. It's episode 2. I bet no one thought we could do it, but we're doing another one. So we're here, we're doing it. So today is a subject which is coming up a lot now. And it's, should I stay in my house and improve it, or should I move? Spend an awful lot of money moving. And it seems to be coming up almost every time now.
I mean, almost every inquiry we get now is, I just want to explore
Yes.
whether I should move or do some work to my house.
Yeah, and I think people have been in the past not spoiled because they've rightly made money, equity and profit from adding an extension or adding a room or converting a loft, but the staggering returns that you used to be able to realise in say like the early 2000s, they've all but been gobbled up now, haven't they? The house prices aren't rising as fast, and everything costs so much.
Yeah, completely flipped on its head, really. I mean, I don't think developers are making money now by extending places.
No, I think those days are gone for the moment. I mean, we were looking on Rightmove the other day, weren't we? And it had some figures around extensions and the values that it was seemingly adding to your house based on how much you're spending. The returns are just not there. I mean, there's an example that they put forward: build cost of £84,000 to £134,000. It was only adding 7 to 8% on the property value.
Yeah,
which is it's modest.
nothing really,
Nothing really,
yeah.
And certainly not compared to what you used to be able to return. It used to be, I spend 30, 40 grand and I can add 80, 90 grand. So it really brings it back to, do you love where you live, or do you want to move? So I mean, what's the kind of the overriding feeling that you're having when you're out and about talking to clients at the moment?
I feel like a lot of clients that have asked that question have already been looking to move, so have spent a lot of time trawling through Rightmove and Zoopla and looking for places. I think a lot of them have come to the conclusion that they can't find anything anyway that they want. So then they come back to, okay, well, what can we do to our house to make it work for us?
I guess everyone on that ladder is feeling the same, aren't they?
It must be. If no one can find anything, then no one must be moving. But
which is good for the builders, right? And it's sort of good for us because it offers us a lot of opportunity to help here, householders in particular.
Yeah, I one of the very first questions I ask when I go and see people, when we sit down around the table and we say, oh, what do you want to achieve? One of the very first questions is this your forever home? Is this going to be your forever home? How long do you envisage being here? Because that'll have an impact on how much you really want to put into the place and how much we make it bespoke for you.
Yeah.
So,
and there's a lot around that forever home situation. There's like the schools that your kids might want to go to, if you've got friends nearby, if you really like the location, and getting like more house might mean that you have to sacrifice the school that your kids go to, or living near your friends or family and things like that. So that plays into it much more heavily, I think, than perhaps it used to, where people were like, oh no, yeah, I'll live anywhere and I want to get the best I can, or I'll stay here and I'll just absolutely max out what I can do with the place. Some of the issues and some of the kind of the conversation around whether you should move or improve, if we look at moving in the first instance, and you say, I mean, I've got an example that I've been working out here. Say the house that you're currently in is worth around 500,000, and you're looking to move, and maybe for an extra bedroom or a converted loft or something like that, and the house that you're looking to move to could be 600,000, 800,000, something like that. So just the moving costs alone, you've got selling the house that you're in, and you can pay, between 1 and 1.5% on the sale of, £500,000, and that could be, between £5,000 and £7,000. You've got your legal fees, and whether you've got a good solicitor you like, or whether they're doing a deal at the time, so that could be up to £3,500. You really should have a survey for the place that you're going to, and that could be a couple of £1,000s. And I mean, if you're going to use a removal firm, there could be packing boxes and labour to move you and all of that sort of stuff. There's an awful lot of money there. And then the big one, which I think people get upset about, is stamp duty. And a £600,000 home currently attracts £17,500 stamp. An £800,000 home currently attracts £27,500 stamp duty, and that's the money that you can't do anything else with.
No, just bye-bye.
So on the moving side, just moving could cost you between £30,000 to £45,000. Just
plus the additional cost of the bigger house.
Yeah, the mortgage is potentially larger. You still would have to probably get additional furniture because you're making the place bigger, or you're getting a bigger place, I should say. Yeah. More furniture. You might need to decorate it. There might not be curtains or carpet left over.
Yeah. I suppose how many times if you're going to a new place or you don't want to do anything to it.
Yeah, I mean,
everyone. Yeah.
Flooring and drapery alone can cost, say, like a modest pair of curtains is £100 odd. So you got 5 or 6 rooms, 500-600 quid on curtains straight away. If the previous owners just taken theirs with them for some reason. Carpet, I don't know what that is at the minute. Laid, £30 to £50 a square metre, not more. £100 a square metre.
A few grand for new carpets. And so everyone wants to redo the kitchen.
Yeah, everyone wants to do potentially. You could sink up to £100,000 on that. So before you've moved and you've got your additional room, but you've basically sunk 30 to 40 grand in just moving.
Yeah.
Not to mention the rest of the money in making the place, which you might not spend on day one. You might spread it out over the next few years, because then you maybe intend on staying there long term. But yeah, it's a significant sum that it's cost you just to move. And then not to mention, your friends and family nearby, the schools nearby. Do you like the town you live in? Have you got to change, like memberships of like various places and stuff like that? So yeah, it's a big.
Yeah. Well, I imagine, especially staying in the same area, it's going to cost a lot more. I mean, you could say move up north or go somewhere where property prices are cheaper, and you might make sense then. But then you really are sacrificing where you live and who you live around.
I suppose that's the question then, is the additional space the most important thing? Because you could find a place that's bigger for the same value that your house is, or less, potentially. But that could be a significant upheaval for everyone, and you'd move away from your family and friends and stuff like that. So it's perhaps something that not many people would be willing to do. I mean, there's also moving abroad, and, we don't have much of a feeling how, that would sort of pan out for people. But, I know people that do it. So
I imagine the expenses are probably even higher, aren't they? Especially if you're moving all your stuff over there.
Yeah, it depends where you're going, what you're doing, stuff like that. Because I had a friend who moved to France for a little while, and they found this beautiful place, and it was just, the money was amazing. It was like 300 grand for this big house and a big outbuilding and all the land and all the rest of it. And yeah, it really made sense for them to do that. But that was pre-Brexit. I don't know if you'd be able to achieve the same outcome now, unless you're able to move between the two. But that's another thing.
That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's another one. That's one for another day. Yeah. So yeah, like moving, it's not easy, not cheap to do.
it's stressful as well.
Stressful.
I mean, we've both moved in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
A lot of it's still pretty fresh on the
Yeah.
stress.
Dislike a lot. So, but then, on the other hand, you got improving and all of the pitfalls that go with that. I mean, I'm a fan. I think making your house your home, it can be good, but obviously you've got to consider, potentially resale values down the line where you have sunk that money in and you're not going to get it back because you've over improved the property, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, I certainly have a few clients that have been, this is our forever home. We know we're not adding the value that we're putting into it, but the value to them is more than the monetary value. So making it work for them and the way they live, and they want to be in it. It is worth more to them than the resale.
For me, I don't think there's a definitive answer to this question, but you've really got to, when we talk to our clients, make it clear, or make them clear in their own minds about what they're, looking to undertake, and whether or not, they understand that it might not be like the old days where they could spend a little and gain a lot. They're going to spend a lot and gain very little. But the upside is they could, like we said, they could stay in their home long term. It would mean they don't have to move. Depending on how long they intend on staying there, they eventually might realise a return. I mean, I just spoke to a chap the other day, and he was very cognizant of, whatever money I sink into this, I'm not going to see it, but my kids will. And they don't need to see it for 20, 30 years.
Mm.
And he was very comfortable with that. And he liked where he lived, but equally he was prepared to move if it made sense.
The question, does it make sense?
Does it make sense?
It makes different sense for different people.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But I think when should someone move? I think when they're going to spend so much money on the house that it just makes it completely untenable. Maybe moving is sensible. If they live in an area where they don't like the schools necessarily, and they've got no friends and family around, then perhaps they should move.
Yeah.
Rather than sinking additional funds into somewhere that they don't love, and to I don't know whether we can say Phil and Kirsty, but I'm going to say it anyway. But they've got a famous show, Love It or Lister, where they take people through that process. Whether do they love where they live? And is that enough to keep them there?
Yeah, but a place in the sun. I don't think I've ever seen anyone move. They all seem to
a place in the sun.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it in years. I haven't watched it in years. My wife has been watching A Place in the Country, I think it's called, recently when she's on maternity leave, watching it in the daytime, and she joked that she doesn't think anyone ever buys any of the properties.
No, that's what I think I've ever seen.
Emma Jolly going around the Cotswolds.
No. Do you know what they need on that program? They need us to be there and to tell them what's possible.
And, well, it's funny you should say that. We offer just that service.
Mm-hmm.
So that that could be something that they could look at. And the other angle is when you should improve the house that you're living in.
Yeah, so if you're moving for that extra bedroom, then we dive into what the cost of that might be.
Yeah.
But what about if you were to build an extra bedroom?
Well, yeah. I think it almost is the same in some places. The total cost of moving and making the house right versus spending all that money on the place that you live in, it almost comes up to the same now.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're doing. But it's just whether or not the improvements you make to your house will equal the value of the house that you might move to. So it's that grey area where you've got the dead money, the stamp duty, the moving fees, all that sort of stuff. Is that you've almost got to factor that into the value of the next place. So you're not like moving to an 800 grand place, you're moving to an 850 grand place, but you're not going to get that money. It's almost, almost.
Yeah,
You're never
of
going to
course,
see
like the
that.
house you're in will have a ceiling as well on the street. Like,
Yeah.
no matter how much you do to it, there'll be a limit to how much you can add value.
Yeah, and the speed with which the values increase over time. So yeah, it's a really tricky conversation. So it's definitely one that is worth having. Move or improve. Should I move? Should I improve?
Yeah, well, I think that's the conversation I tend to have with everyone I go and see who are thinking, is this right or should we do that? It's going through what do you need to achieve? What kind of budgets are you considering? And then we can kind of run through it together and say, okay, if we were to improve where we are now, this is what we think, it's likely going to be. This is what we can achieve. And they can always say that and say, okay, well, if we didn't do that, we know kind of how much it's going to be to move, so we can compare the two. But I think you're right. I think it's more of a personal question. Do you like where you are, or has it no consequence to you?
I think it's become a heart and head conversation now. Because when I used to go and see people before and they would talk about what they wanted to do, I would say, well, yeah, you can do it, but are you planning on living here long term, or is it an investment? And it was a simpler conversation before. Because it's like, oh no, I want to do this work, improve it, and then I want to move. And they could do that.
Yep. We know what we want. I'll do it. Yeah, and go through that. Now it's
not that now. So do you love the place enough to spend all this money on it? And I think that's what it boils down to. It's like, is your lifestyle right here once you've done the math? And we can help with that because we can try and kind of, between doing some work and talking to certain quantity surveyors, we can kind of give you a real good sense of the math side. Then it's up to you as the householder to decide where your heart lies. Is it where you live, or are you done?
Yeah.
Then we can move the conversation forward. I think that's sort of happening now, isn't it?
Yeah. I know people who are house hunting maybe sometimes struggle seeing the potential in places they want to go as well. So it might not just be that they're moving to somewhere that has that extra bedroom. Perhaps where they are at the moment doesn't have the potential for that extra bedroom. And they're looking for somewhere where perhaps they're doing both. They're moving and improving.
Yeah.
Which again is a whole nother load of maths and trying to figure out what's right.
I guess those people have sort of committed to the idea of moving then, haven't they? And they've accepted the various costs involved and the additional expense of improving the place because they want to move to somewhere for some reason.
They like they like where they want to go.
Yeah.
Can't find the right house. So I try to find something they can turn into the right house.
Yes. So we've got several options. We've got stay.
Yeah.
Improve.
Yeah.
Move. And then move and improve.
Yeah. Yeah. Move, improve, or move and improve.
Yeah.
Let's do both.
Yeah. It's a complicated conversation. But I think the summary is really it's not a straightforward conversation now. It's worth talking about.
Right questions, really considering the answers. Do you like where you are? Because then we can guide you into whichever direction we think is best.
Yeah. It's sort of we're sort of part counsellor when we get to that stage because sometimes people really don't know what to do. And there's so many options and I could do this. But yeah, I suppose that's where, we try and be impartial and just, try and guide them to towards an outcome that we hope will be the best.
Yeah.
For them.
For those looking to move and improve, for those that aren't aware of our house hunt service, I've actually got a meeting after this actually with a couple looking to purchase a house in Brighton who want to do some bits to it, unsure about what they want to do. So as part of our house hunt service, I'm going to take a look at that.
They need the new place to do.
So it's basically extra bedroom space like we've been talking about, and they want to open up the ground floor plan, nice big kitchen and dining space. But it's that, can this wall be moved? Can this wall be knocked out? Can we extend here? Are there any planning, restrictions? So I'm going to take a quick look at that and do a nice presentation with them. Just say, here's the house you're looking at. I know roughly what you want to do to it. You can definitely do X, Y, Z. We might come up against some resistance if we did this. And here's a ballpark figure I think that you're going to need to spend on this place.
Yeah.
Should you buy this place and turn it into what you want? So again, they can plug that into the equations as well, the feeling and the money. And
I guess that's the third dimension of this, isn't it? It's, I would like to move, but can the place I go to do what I want it to? Because, it's sort of the reason why they didn't stay where they were. They like the area where they go to, but they can't find a house where they want to go to that does what they want it to do. So that's why this is perfect to help people and guide them through that. So yeah, it's not easy these days to make.
There is no conclusion.
I guess there's no right answer. It's what's right for you, because everyone's different.
Yeah,
and everyone lives in a slightly different way, and everyone uses their house in a slight. And sometimes when I've been around to people's houses and you see what they do, it's that's quite novel. I would never do that, but they it suits them.
I think we're safe in saying that the only definitive answer is, if you're trying to increase value and then quickly sell the place, that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, those days are gone.
That's the definitive answer we can give you at the moment.
Those glory days are gone for the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
There we go.
So if you are interested in our other services like the house hunt service, check out our website, sprucearchitecture.com, or pick up the phone, give us a call.
And next time, I think we'll have a chat about owning a listed building and the pitfalls and the whys and wherefores of doing works to that.
How and if and why. Yeah.
Yeah. and why you shouldn't just do stuff.
Please don't do stuff. Please don't just do stuff.
Till next time.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks.